Hey everybody, and welcome to another hobby video, another Geeky Grind. Again, don't have any coffee with me. I had a French press that made for breakfast, but there's a little sip left. There's some local cheap coffee. Little the 365 blend from Whole Foods, but anyways, this week we were painting some walkways. These were built using the instructions from Wylock's Armory for his industrial walkways, and I did a little bit of a different paint scheme. So I'm going to show you how I painted everything, and if you want to actually build these walkways, I would totally recommend watching his video, link down in the description. But anyways, yeah, for paints, we're using some acrylic silver, some hobby. This is the Rose Art metallic gunmetal, and we got some apple barrel black, some apple barrel granite gray, some sunny day, and then a little bit of the expensive paints. We got some blood for the blood god. Also, we're going to be using, this is a mixed medium project, because for the, put some graffiti on mine, so I've got some prismatic art markers I'm going to be using, along with some liner pens, which I'm trying to see if they are in arm's reach. These are micron liner pens. Basically, these are what standard use for drawing anime and cartoons. As long as you got some very fine tip. This is a 0.5 millimeter one I got here. Just some fine tip pens to be able to do your outlining it with, but that is all you need for this project. So let's start off. Walkways. So here I've got one of the 45-degree angle ones. I'm just masking out with some masking tape, trying to make sure that they are about equal distance, so that way the lines are even. If you were going to be using masking tape to do some, like, the way I'm putting these down is I'm just putting the strips across. I'm not really worried, because sometimes when you have masking tape you have those raggedy edges, but I want those to look a little bit more like the battle damage that's going to be happening on these walkways. So I'm not worried about getting clean edges on these. If I did want to have some very clean edges, I'd take a little bit of matte medium and I would actually paint the edges of the masking tape, so that way when I rip it off it comes off clean. But looking for something that's just withered, beat up, dingy, you can get away with this. Alright, we're actually backtracking a bit here, because these 45 degrees, you want to change the angle of the stripes at a certain point. So going back over and redoing these last couple of stripes so they'll actually match up and look like the stripe is angling around. Great thing about this type of project, you can really play with and try to figure out exactly where you want everything to go. Again, this does not need to look 100%, because these are going to be some beat up industrial walkways. These aren't factory perfect, so I can mess up a hair bit. Alright, so we're laying down a base coat of the granite gray here. The yellow paint is notorious for not really giving you a good coverage, so when you're going over black, so you want to use a lighter base coat underneath of it. So I'm just hitting this, all the spots that I'm going to paint yellow with this granite gray first. Alright, granite gray has dried. Now we're coming in with our sunny day, and we're just going to, go over every bit of our gray with this. Make sure to get a good even coat. And yeah, I've masking taped all the walkways off here. Make sure that they're all ready to go, so I can just assembly line, so I can go through and I can paint all the gray, come back in, paint all the yellow. So just finicky going in here, making sure not to hit any of the actual walkways, but make sure that all that gray is covered. Alright, so here is one of the platforms. We're going around and just using the width of the brush to make our yellow stripes on these. Just going around, getting a good straight line. Like I said, the width of the yellow brush, because I wanted to have some gray in the center. Now we're taking off our tape. That's going to leave us, yeah, see those jagged edges, look like battle damage. That is really what we're looking for, is some scraggly paint. It's been chipping off. And we've got the centerpiece. We're just coming in with more of our concrete gray. We're just going to clean that up. Make it so it is the actual centerpiece of this and not part of our caution stripe walkways. Part of the caution stripes on the outer edges. Going again on the platforms and doing the same thing. Ripping these tape off. You can see here again a lot of that wear and distress. Now we're using the brush just to make sure that we're tidying this up. Going all the way around. Getting all those black stripes filled in, so we'll have a clear separation from our hazard stripe trim and where the actual concrete of these bunkers is sitting. Just being careful, going in, getting it trimmed up. Pull that last piece of tape off. We're using this angled brush. Getting in there. Alright, now that everything up top is done, we're going down for the underside. Now I'm not doing the underside where the grading is in our hazard stripe, I'm just doing the actual bottoms here. I figured that we could cheat and leave the underside of all the walkways actually black. That way we don't have to go in and do some painting, because it's stuff you're not really going to see, and it would be shadowy anyways, whatever bits you might see. If there is some camera angles that are coming from the underside, but you're not really like tilting your head upside down to look at these, so it's all good. It's all good in the hood, G. Alright, here is the ladders. We're just going over with a coat of gunmetal over all of these. Already painted the clip piece that's going to hold these on with that granite gray, so they'll kind of blend into the walkways. Just getting good even coverage, covering all of these. Wylock in his video did something different. He was using like shish kebab skewers. I decided to just go with popsicle sticks and some leftover pieces of cardboard. Alright, these are some barricade style fences. Again, Wylock did some very complex ones. These are just pieces of the chipboard that I had left over glued onto my clips, and then I just kind of rounded the corners and made some nicks with scissors. Again, more gunmetal on the I-beam struts for the actual platform pieces. Really want them to be a dull color so they'll blend into the background. The models need to be the focal point while you're doing your games. The terrain, that's why I'm like cheap craft paint, just really putting stuff down. Not really worried about it being too perfect, because again, it's supposed to look like it's, you know, dilapidated old complex. It's all been blown up, beat up. So just putting some dark colors onto it. Alright, up on top on the walkways, we're putting down some gunmetal on these grates. Just slap it in. We're not worried about too much overspill because we're actually, we're feathering out some stuff. We're also going to go in these spots of gray in the black hazard stripes, making it so there's some metal shining through. Just kind of dabbing in some battle damage around here, and these spots where we got uneven paint coverage, we can just put in some metal, make it look like things have been blasted through. Just overbrushing a little bit off the grates, make it look like it's all scuffed up. Now we're going around, and we're going to hit the edges, because those would have been very scuffed, very damaged. Okay, now we're going in with some silver for some edge highlights. Going around the edges of the inside of these walkways where we splattered over that gunmetal. Just adding in a little edge highlight around here, making those edges be our focal point. Bringing that battle damage on those sides up a little bit. And not being too perfect with it, because it is aged, damaged. So if you got some more silver showing through certain areas than others, that just makes it look like the paint's been chipped off, peeled off, and you got that bare exposed metal underneath. Let's get some highlights on those grates. Just doing some brush strokes across, a little diagonal, neaten up edges over on this side of the walkway, and putting our highlights across. Alright, now that everything's been painted up, we're putting some black wash on this. This is just a homemade wash with a little bit of water, acrylic craft paint, and some ink in it, just to make it look black and soupy. Alright, now that we got the black wash on, we're loading up one paintbrush and then tapping against the next to get some splatter effect from our blood from the blood god. Just putting little splatters here and there. Don't have to go crazy with it, just a little bit of gore. Make it look like there actually has been a firefight. Something's been shot and bled up on this walkway. So alright, that is looking good. Alright. Now, you can't have some abandoned buildings without putting on some graffiti. So I'm just taking a pencil here and I'm writing in the stuff that I want to do. There's a tagger here in New Orleans that writes Steve and Two Dads all over the place. So I figured, I might as well give a little homage to New Orleans with some Steve Two Dads. Another interesting piece of graffiti I've seen all over the place is this cat girl thing. So basically starting with a circle. Alright, getting my center line of the face, outlining my jawline, putting the neck in, I'll make that a little bigger, give my eye lines here, putting my nose in, sketching in my eyes, trying to get the mouth, top eyebrows, bottom of the eye, and I'll make a little more designation to the chin. I'm not really, like, I know that when I go back through and add some wash and stuff, so I'm not really being too careful with my pencil erasings. I want it to look like the stone or whatever this side of this building is made out of has gotten some dirt and grime on it, so the smudges from the pencil definitely will help that out. So I can be as sloppy and dirty as I want with drawing right now. Alright, putting in some hair. Get the ears figured out. Figuring out where the hair is coming down on that side. Working on this side. Blend everything in. Get that nose to actually look more nose-ish. Okay, yeah. Alright, that looks good. Alright, the mouth was like one of the biggest things I was having a problem with. I was trying to get like the teeth and everything to look good. Come out and redefine that hair a little bit better. A little collar on our cat girl. Dark spots to the eyes. More shadow on the nose. Trying to work on these lips. The mouth was the hardest part of this entire project. Trying to get it to actually look decent. The time I drew it, I was like, it doesn't really look good. Going back through, all these erasings are just giving us some more grime, some more dirt. Get her fangs right. Alright, I think I'm happy with it. Gonna be happy with it at this point. Nope, I'm not. Alright, yeah, we're making it too narrow. Yeah, pull that out a little bit better. Narrow those eyes up a little bit. Get those more pronounced eyebrows. Yeah, it's looking good. Add some more details. Putting a little chain on this. I guess I was thinking like slave Leia. Alright, now we're going in with a Sharpie for our written graffiti. We got Steve Two Dads. We got Bab. A little nod to my buddy Josh Sennet's D&D character. Jimmy Slim, I don't even know who Jimmy Slim is, but it just like seemed kind of cool to be like, yeah, Jimmy Slim would totally mark this up. So we got Jimmy Slim. Trying to do like the balloon style lettering. We come over, hit this all with our eraser. Not worrying about being too clean because it's all going to look like dirt and grime. These aren't clean walkways. Just adding in some highlight colors with our art marker here. This balloon lettering. Alright, going over to our cat girl. Using our liner markers. Just going over the lines where we want to keep them in. Again, we've got our base sketch to go from. This is where I can pick any of the lines I want to delete out. I can delete them out and keep in what I want to keep in. Just working around here. Our original sketch was just to get the foundation of where we want everything. This is where we're going in and being neat and tidy by adding in the black. Making our final editing choices. That's where we erase. Just taking out any of the unneeded lines, smudging them out, making that dirt and grime look a little bit better. Coming in. At that point, I decided to go no fangs, make the mouth look a little bit better. Coming in, filling in that shadow of the mouth. I'm adding this hatch line because I want to put a highlight going across her hair. So that hatch line will be where my highlight starts. And I'm just filling it in. I like the idea of using the art markers instead of actually painting this in, because that way it gives me a different texture, a different kind of coloration, which looks a lot more like somebody has actually been using an airbrush, well, using a rattle can, as you get these parts of uneven coverage, kind of like trying to feather the areas. Alright, I'm gonna leave a gap. Just make that highlight in the hair. Alright. We're going in different color, fill in the fur of the ear. Get a little pink on the inside of the ear. Flesh tone into the shadows of the skin. Not really looking to color it all in. We're just looking to put some, put some different colors into it. Make it, give it the illusion of being painted and colored in without actually going over the whole thing. Trying to use a lot of the natural color of the wall as our highlight color. Yeah, basically all there is to putting it in. Color in the eyes. And voila! That is how I did my walkways. Basically everything is done just with acrylics, wash, and then the artwork for the graffiti is all done with liner pens, Sharpie, and art markers. And now I give you the establishing shot. Alright, and here we have half of the finished set up. Let's give me a good shot. I really don't have I really don't have the space to actually set up the whole thing in one area, but you know, basically half of these, 6 different towers, and 9 different walkways is more than enough to set up a good kill team size board. And yeah, we'll hopefully be seeing a bit more of this terrain on the channel once I can get some battle reports recorded. Those will be coming up in the future. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all those things to let YouTube know we're doing a good job, and also to keep you updated on future content. This has been your board barista fan, signing out. Peace.